The most dangerous venomous snake in the United States is the one that you don't see until it's too late.
In today's extreme experiment, we're testing the bite of the copperhead snake.
But first, we gotta find one. We saw some overhanging rocks down through this ravine that we want to check out. Could be a great spot for snakes. All right, Ray, so you got real excited about this spot here. Talk to me about it.
I mean, look how far back it goes. This is a pretty good example of somewhere that a copperhead might overwinter. And this is also a good sign. Just because there's not a snake underneath this rock, there could easily be one pretty close by. So we need to keep our head on a swivel when walking around here, but I feel like we're getting close to finding a copperhead.
When it comes to venomous snakes in the United States, you essentially are looking at a handful of different species. Rattlesnakes, of which there are many, coral snakes, water moccasins, and copperheads. Now the copperhead is the most common venomous snake throughout the southeastern and eastern United States. In fact, you're more likely to stumble upon the copperhead while hiking than any other venomous snake species that is out there. And because of their camouflage, they're often going to be the best hidden. And given the fact that they do not have a rattle, they have no way to warn you before you might actually step on top of one.
Dude, we have a copperhead.
You got a copperhead?
We have one.
Ray just called out, we have a copperhead. Now he wants to see if I can see it.
Semi-adult, somewhere in here.
Okay.
Let's see if you can point it out.
Eagle Eyes Ray Tiller, somewhere right in this vicinity. I see it. Oh my gosh, good eye.
Right?
Let's go.
We really have to think about how we want to play this.
It's thinking about moving. Geez, you know what? I'm just gonna get the bite-proof glove out. Here, get this.
It's moving away quick. It's moving away really quick.
First step, bite-proof glove. Get it? Yeah, I got it. Oh, you got it. No. Yeah, I got it.
Whoa.
All right. Well, bite-proof glove getting tested straight away here. See if it's even going to strike. It's not exactly the route that we wanted to take to catching the snake. So what you'll notice so far is that the snake has not struck a single time. So attempting to use the bite-proof gloves to find out whether or not handling a copperhead will cause it to strike. Well, we've answered that question. And Ray, it was supposed to be you wearing the bite-proof gloves, but in order for us to get the snake, we just had to make the move. And look at that, not a single strike so far. Now let's see what happens if I just kind of... That's wild.
Nothing.
Oh? It's rattling its tail a little bit. Hi, buddy, how are you? Oh my gosh, beautiful snake.
Incredible.
Not a single attempted strike. It did poop. I smell some poop. There's definitely some poop. Let's do this. Let's get it in a more controlled situation so that we can go through this test in more than one way. And I don't think there's any chance that we're gonna have this snake ultimately striking at us, but it's worth an attempt.
Let's go. I don't want to get it too close to my face.
Yeah, okay, so go ahead and crouch down with it for a second. And for context, the test we wanted to try today was whether or not the copperhead would bite at a snake-proof bite boot or be able to bite through snake bite-proof gloves. And so far, the snake has not even made an attempt to bite.
No, and I'm not gonna lie, when you went in to grab it, you definitely put a little bit of pressure on the snake. And right now, you kind of see the turn on this angle. I'm squeezing the body just a little bit to keep the snake in the position that it's in, and it's still very reluctant to bite. I mean, it's, as far as copperheads go, this little guy is definitely very active, and that's a mix of, you know, it being able to warm up in the sun for a little bit, but also the smaller the snake is, the more prone it is to just want to flee because it knows that it does have potential predators out here in the environment. But look at this right here. This copperhead is very content in the spot that it's at. It doesn't want anything to do with me.
What happens if you try to boop it on the nose? Just like, you know, let's just show people that like this snake is more interested in flight than it is fight.
Right. Okay, I'm gonna give it a little boop on the nose with my finger here.
Nice and gentle. Oh.
Okay, we are good.
It did bite. Did it get through the glove?
It did not.
Now you might think copperheads can be pretty feisty, but trust me, you haven't seen feisty until you've seen my cat Otter be presented with a meal that he doesn't like. And after the 100th kibble strike, I realized something had to change. So I switched to Smalls. Fresh, protein-packed cat food made from 100% human-grade ingredients. The same stuff you'd actually recognize in your own fridge. Oh yeah, preservative-free, real ingredients. That's why Cats.com named Smalls their best overall cat food. I literally had Otter do a taste test, and he chose Smalls every time. Starting with Smalls is super easy. Just answer a few questions about your cat's diet, health, and preferences, and boom! A personalized meal plan delivered right to your door. Forbes ranked Smalls as the best overall cat food. BuzzFeed said their cats went completely ballistic for it. And 88% of cat owners reported health improvements after switching. And if your cat doesn't love it, Smalls will refund you. It's totally risk-free. For a limited time, because you're such a handsome viewer, you get 60% off your first order, plus free shipping when you head to smalls.com/coyote. One more time, that's 60% off your first order, plus free shipping at smalls.com/coyote. So stop guessing which meals upset their stomach and give your cat the upgrade they deserve. But it did strike the glove.
To my knowledge, it did not get through the glove. I don't feel any venom on the tip of my finger. That is incredible. Dude, I just took a bite from a copperhead. And I'm completely fine.
Do it again.
I'll give it like a little boop here. Oh, look at it rattling its tail, flickering its tongue. Oh, you do not like that. Oh.
Well, it probably notices a bigger object moving towards it, and I can't imagine that the glove is giving off any sort of heat signature, but it's definitely curious at this point.
Right, that was definitely a kind of back off me bite.
All right, try to get it to bite again. Let's see what happens. So everybody wants to see this.
Let's go for a little copperhead bite test. Oh, there was another quick strike right there.
That was a quick strike and definitely did not penetrate through the gloves, did it?
No, that looked to be, I mean, you can take a little peek.
Let me see.
I think I see a little bit of moisture on the tip there.
I see a droplet of venom right there.
That is frightening, dude. That's right at the tip of my finger.
Mm-hmm.
It takes a lot for me to get nervous, especially with the copperhead, because this is a species I've been working with since I was a little kid. I've caught hundreds of these guys over the years, but actually getting hands-on like this is something that I have never done before. I think it goes without saying, never ever replicate what you're seeing us do here, but guys, I just took 2 bites to my index finger from a venomous copperhead snake, and I am completely fine. This is incredible, but it's still, we've had this copperhead for about 5 minutes now. We've been very hands-on with it, and it's not until I actually go in and boop it on the nose that it goes in for a little bit of a warning bite, and that just proves that point even more, that this snake does not want to strike. Venom is such a precious resource to this snake. It only wants to use it on potential prey items, not for predators like myself.
It's interesting that there was just a single droplet of venom, but even a droplet of venom like that is a medical emergency.
For sure, any venom that enters your body is an immediate medical emergency. Although the copperhead, compared to its pit viper cousins like the rattlesnakes and the cottonmouth, has a much more mild venom, fatalities are extremely rare from copperhead bites. Still, it is extremely potent in the grand scheme of things and will mess up your body. Even a small drop, it could be a baby copperhead, it could be a full-grown adult, it could be this guy right here. Any venom that enters your body is an immediate medical emergency.
Okay, now try to balance it with both your hands. I'm gonna set up this tripod and actually get some tight shots with the GX10 as well. Okay. This is as gritty as it gets, but we kind of just had to run with it. I'm gonna try the boot test like this, see if he'll bite the boot.
Oh my God. Oh, he's flickering his tongue out. Oh, wiggling the tail too. Nothing.
Well, we know he's not gonna be able to bite through the boot if he can't bite through the glove. And it is worth noting that this is a smaller snake. Copperheads do get bigger than this.
Yeah, this is definitely a semi-adult. I'd say probably in the 1 to 2 year age range.
See if you can kind of like curl them in a little bit.
Oh, that was,
I saw that. That was
the
legit.
biggest bite of the day. And that was right on like the knuckle of my thumb.
Let me film that right there. But it didn't penetrate.
It did not, and if it did, I definitely would have felt the fangs going right into my skin. I'm at the point where I fully trust these gloves, but still, when I see the snake turn and actually strike, my heart skips a beat, because like we said, if any ounce of this venom gets inside of my body, we are immediately cutting cameras and rushing to the hospital.
We did prove that the Hex Armor bite-proof gloves are resilient to the bite of a 1.5-foot copperhead. It's not to say you should test them out on any other snake, and in extreme experiment situations, we might try it on something else, but a pretty cool shot, an actual photo for the thumbnail of the snake biting your finger. All right, we're gonna get this snake back into its little burrow. I'm assuming that's its burrow that it was trying to escape into before I grabbed it, and keep searching for snakes. But just in case we don't find another one, I'm Coyote Peterson.
I'm Ray Tiller.
Be brave.
Stay wild.
We'll see you on the next adventure. All right, Ray, you do the honors since you're holding the snake in your gloves. See you later. Dude.
Big shot. Woo!